So Joe Biden did his State of the Union speech last night, and of course, it was a debacle. He did a lot of lying, did a lot of finger pointing, did a lot of blaming Republicans for things that are his own fault and are the fault of his administration. A lot of anger, a lot of angry old man telling kids to get off of his lawn vibes. That was just the overall vibe that President Biden gave off last night during his State of the Union speech. So, of course, he lied about many things. For example, he blamed Republicans for not wanting to close the border, even though that's literally all that they have asked Joe Biden to do in his entire presidency. And he said that they tried to pass a border bill to close the border, even though that wasn't actually a border security bill. It was a fund Ukraine and Israel bill. It was a fund war bill, and it actually made it so that they would be allowed to bring in 8,500 illegal immigrants every single day without having to close the border. Yeah. 8,500 illegal immigrants coming in every single day that would have been legal under that bill. So it would have actually been worse with that bill than what we are seeing right now. So I'm going to get into the two major things that have been affecting American citizens. And I already touched on one of them. It's the border. But I'm going to get into just two main things that have been affecting American citizens throughout the entirety of Joe Biden's presidency. Starting with the border, as I've already started to do, let's get into some facts here. So Joe Biden stated that he wants to fix the border. Well, as we know, the executive branch, the federal government, is what controls the border. Joe Biden has had the authority to send troops to the southern border, to send National Guard, to hire more Border Patrol agents. He has had the ability to fix the southern border for his entire presidency, to stop all of the illegal immigration that is coming through. He could have continued to do what Donald Trump did. He could have continued the Stay in Mexico Act, which of course he got rid of like on his first day in office. He literally signed that away with an executive order in the first day of office. I believe that was the first day of office. I know that he signed it away at some point in his presidency. The Stay in Mexico policy that happened under Donald Trump, that went away. So now all of these illegal immigrants that are flooding our border now had to be processed inside of the country and were allowed to stay in the country while they were being processed. And he stated during his own State of the Union speech that, they're coming in and they're paying the cartels $8,000 to come into the country because they know that if they get in, it'll be 6 to 8 years before they get a hearing. And I could just hear all of America saying, why are you letting them come in the first place? Why? Why is this happening? So I want to get into some facts. So of course we know that the border is a debacle, but I want to get just into specifically how bad it is. So this is the U.S. Customs and Border Protection criminal non-citizen statistics. This here is arrests of individuals with criminal convictions. We've seen a lot of illegal immigrants committing major crimes in the United States. We've seen dozens and dozens of cases just this year and in 2023 of illegal immigrants committing ridiculous crimes. You obviously, the biggest one right now is Lake and Riley. Another one that I like to bring up a lot because it's absolutely insane is a 15-year-old girl in Ohio being sexually assaulted and impregnated by an illegal immigrant. That would have never happened if that illegal alien had been stopped at the border. Would have never happened. None of these crimes, just remember, when I read off these statistics, when I read off what is happening in these statistics, none of these would have happened if all of these illegal aliens had been stopped at the southern border. So, of course, arrests of individuals with criminal goodness, English is hard. Arrests of individuals with criminal convictions. So, what that means is these are illegal aliens that are inside of our country and have been arrested for committing another crime in this country other than crossing into the southern border. So as you can see in 2017, it's 8,531. Then it starts to go down as Donald Trump gets further into his presidency. So in 18, it's 6,600. In 19, 4,269. And in 2020, it goes down again, 2,438. And then in 2021, Joe Biden takes office and it skyrockets. It goes from 2,400. These are, mind you, these are illegal aliens who are committing crimes in the United States, who are being arrested for committing crimes in the United States other than crossing the border illegally. Okay? So these are not, they crossed the border illegally and they got arrested, so that's what the statistic is. No, these are people that are coming into our country illegally and they're committing crimes like theft, burglary, rape, murder, etc. Okay? So in 2020, you get 2,438. It went down every single year for all of Donald Trump's presidency. And then in 2021, as soon as Joe Biden takes office, it skyrockets. 10,763 in his first year in office. Then 2022, 12,028. 2023, 15,267 arrests. And this is just from Customs and Border Protection. This is just CBP's numbers. This is just their numbers. This is not, individual police departments all across the country. This is just the numbers that Border Patrol has. And in the year 2024, we've already surpassed. Oh my goodness. January, February, March. We're not even into the middle of March yet. In 2024, we've already hit 5,600. Absolutely insane. But let's continue. Let's just see just how bad it truly is. So we go, what are the actual conviction types that these criminals are being arrested for? So let's get into it. Assault, battery, and domestic violence. Burglary, robbery, larceny, theft, fraud, homicide, manslaughter. So, oh my goodness. You want to see the biggest difference? This is insane. Check out this. Homicide and manslaughter. During Donald Trump's administration, 2017, there was three cases of CBP. This is CBP's numbers. 3 cases under Donald Trump's in 2017 of illegal immigrants committing homicide or manslaughter. Okay? 3. 2018, 3. 2019, 2. 2020, 3 again. 2021, once again, we see it skyrockets. There were 60 in 2021, 62 in 2022, 29 in 2023, and we're already at 14 in 2024, which, of course, one of those was Laken Riley in Georgia, who had her skull bashed in as she tried to defend herself from being sexually assaulted by an illegal immigrant. Once again, I'll remind you, all of these could be stopped. All of these could be stopped if every single one of these immigrants was simply turned away at the southern border. Yet he has the audacity, Joe Biden has the audacity to point the finger at Republicans and say, oh, this is your fault because you didn't pass our border security bill, which of course was not a border security bill. There was all types of bullcrap in that bill, including another $60 billion to Ukraine. $60 billion to Ukraine. And then, of course, right after that, they showed their true colors by completely just taking out all the border stuff and just throwing in a bunch of, Ukraine and Israel funding. It was never about the border. The border security bill was never about them wanting to secure the border. It was about them wanting to codify illegal immigrants coming into the country illegally. They wanted to make all of this illegal immigration legal. Like I said, it would have allowed 8,500 illegal immigrants to come into the country every single day. Every single day, 8,500. 8,500 illegal immigrants every single day. That would have been legal under that bill for all of those illegal immigrants to come in. Then, of course, you have the $60 billion to Ukraine. I believe there was another $20 billion to Israel. This is not things that Americans support. So, of course, the Republicans said no, and then he comes around, and I truly believe that this was the whole point behind that bill. This was the whole point. They knew, the Democrats knew that they were getting absolutely blasted by cities all over the country. New York, Chicago, the cities were fed up, including the Democrat citizens living in those cities. They were sick of the illegal immigration. They were sick of these illegals coming in and getting all of their resources, getting all of the things that were never given to them. You've got illegal immigrants up in New York, living in 5-star hotel rooms, being given 3 meals a day for free, and getting $10,000 gift cards where they can just go out and buy whatever they want. Meanwhile, we got Gen Z living up in New York, living in basically a shoebox, paying $2,000 a month, and they have to share a bathroom with a bunch of other people. And they live in a shoebox. They live in a box no bigger than the inside of a 4-door sedan. That's the reality. It is the reality that Joe Biden has put the illegal immigrant criminals first before you, but he points the finger at everybody else and says, oh, it's your fault. Oh, I tried to close the border. You have always had the authority to close the border, Joe Biden. Joe Biden has always had the authority to do that. He's always had the authority to send troops. He's always had the authority to put up border barriers, and he has not done it. In fact, Border Patrol was tearing down barriers that Texas had put up. Joe Biden forced Arizona to take down their border wall of shipping containers that they had put up. He forced them to take it down. Of course, Texas put up border barriers, forced them to take it down. And then he comes in and he tries to tell he tries to sue Texas for trying to do everything that they can to stop it. And then, of course, on top of all of that insanity, just this last week, we have an interview from Dr. Phil. He goes on The View, and he shares a story about a conversation that he had with the Border Patrol Union president. And the Border Patrol Union president explains to Dr. Phil that they are absolutely facilitating the sex trafficking of children, from children at the border to child sex rings in the United States and child prostitution rings. Your tax dollars are being used to sell children into sex slavery. All of this under Joe Biden. All of it. You cannot look at these statistics. Every single one of these crime statistics was high at the beginning of Donald Trump's administration, at the beginning of his 4-year term, okay, they were high, and then they went down every single year. Every single year, the crime statistics went down under Donald Trump. Donald Trump was fixing this issue. He was fixing the problem. He was deporting these criminals. He was deporting people that were taking jobs and resources from American citizens, just like we're seeing in New York, just like we're seeing in Chicago. The black community in Chicago is pissed. I would be too, because you have illegal immigrants coming in and taking resources from that community. And of course, we see this over and over and over again. Republicans have said that this is what's going to happen, and Donald Trump was fixing it, and now all of that progress is gone. All that progress that Donald Trump made is gone. It's gotten so much worse. Like I said, look at the statistic right here. 2,438 arrests of violent criminals who are illegal aliens are arrested for these violent crimes. And then it shoots up in 2021. The first year of Joe Biden's presidency, 10,763 arrests. Look at the homicide and manslaughter rate. You got 3 in the last year of Donald Trump's presidency, and then first year of Joe Biden's presidency, it shoots up to 60. Every single statistic, every single one of these has gotten worse under Joe Biden. Every single one. We're like I said, we're only a few months into 2024, and we got 14 homicide and manslaughter arrests of illegal aliens. One of them, Laken Riley. So, I don't think that we can look at these statistics and say that Joe Biden has done anything about the border. In fact, he has made it worse. He has not tried to fix anything with the border. He has had the authority under the Constitution of the United States. The founding document, one of the founding documents of our nation, since 1776, my guy. Excuse me, I apologize. We had the Articles of Confederation, and then we got the Constitution later on, but it's neither here nor there. For a long time, the federal government and the presidency, the executive branch, has had the authority to enforce immigration laws at our borders. And they haven't done it. Yet he points the finger at Republicans like Democrats always do. They always deflect. They always point the finger at everybody else. Oh, it's never my fault. And I get it. There's a lot of Republicans that do the same thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's not a uniparty. Okay, they all freaking do it. But it's like 99% of the Democrat Party and like 85% of the Republican Party that do stuff like this, okay? So there's a small smidgen of the Republican Party that actually gives a piss about the country. It's all a big club. It's all a uniparty, okay? I get it. But overwhelmingly, this is a Democrat issue. They are the ones that are allowing this open border policy to happen under Joe Biden's administration. Then, of course, you have the economy. It's the economy, stupid. No wonder everyone's pissed. I want to show you this. Oh, I apologize. I forgot. I cannot quite move on to the economy just yet because I got to show you. Southwest land border encounters by month. Let's look at the totals by year. Okay, 2021, there was 1,734,000 enforcement encounters at our southern border. Of course, it went up 2,378,000 in 2022. Then it goes up again by 100,000. 2,475,000 in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, in the very last month of 2023, we saw 301,983 enforcement encounters at our southern border. Let me be very clear. Those are only the people that got caught. Those are only the people that got caught. 301,000. How many of other hundreds of thousands did not get caught? How many? Oh, that's right. We can't know because how would you know? How can you know that? They didn't get caught. So now they're just roaming around in our country doing whatever as they please. Terrorist attacks, committing murders, selling drugs to children. This is what is happening. You just saw the crime statistics. All of these crimes have gone up under Joe Biden. You just saw it. All these crimes committed by illegal aliens have gone up. Every single one. The border is not secure. Joe Biden knows it's not secure. But of course, he's got to toe the party line. So he's going to continue to point the finger at everybody else and say, oh, it's not my fault. Republicans didn't pass our border bill. That wasn't actually a border bill. It was a fund Ukraine war bill that would, make inflation go up again and cause more struggle on the American people financially, which leads me right into the segue for my economy segment of this video. According to the U.S. inflation calculator, U.S. inflation data for January, this is January of 2024, okay? U.S. inflation data for January, once again, higher than expected. They keep telling you, he said at one point in his State of the Union speech, Joe Biden did, he said that the economy is fantastic and that inflation is lower than it's been. It's not. I mean, the inflation rate is going down, but your prices are still going up. Let's read. Let's just see what this has to say. U.S. consumer prices continue to exceed expectations, reaching the highest level in 4 months in January. Rising costs of shelter offset reduced prices in sectors like energy, apparel, and prescription medication. Furthermore, food prices also remained elevated. How's that grocery bill, guys? How's that grocery bill? I can tell you from experience, my grocery bill has gone up by at least $40 in the last 4 months. At least $40 in the last 4 months. Buying the same stuff we've always bought. Okay. We might get a few different things here and there, but it's like a $5 to $8 difference here and there. We usually always get just about the same things because we like to budget and things like that here in this family. So we try to get the same things. We try to get like cheaper meals for the week and stuff like that. It's gone up by $40. $40. Yeah, it's about that much. We've gone, well, it might actually be higher than that. I mean, we've gone from paying about $170, $180 a week for groceries, and that doesn't get us much. It doesn't get us much. To now we're paying about $230. So let's take, that's a $50 increase. $50 increase on grocery bill in the last 3-4 months. Ladies and gentlemen, do you feel like the economy is going good? Joe Biden said it was good, so it must be. I was off. I guess my grocery bill's fake. I guess that price that I see at the gas pump, it's just, it's these gas stations, man. They're hiking the price up, man. It's all on everybody else. It's all on everybody else in Joe Biden's world. Nothing is ever the Democrats' fault. That's what they tell you. Oh, it's never my fault. It's everybody else's fault. Let's continue. In the headline figure for the month, U.S. consumer prices increased by 0.3% in January after rising by 0.2% in December. The Labor Department said in its monthly report on the Consumer Price Index, the CPI is a closely watched inflation gauge that measures Americans' consumer pay for everyday items, ranging from coffee to cars. The widely reported consensus was a 0.2% monthly increase. Guys, inflation can go down all at once. If your prices are still going up, then the economy's not doing good. It's not. You're still paying more than what you can afford. I saw multiple. I want to see if I can find this. I want to see if I can find. I might not be able to find it, but I'm going to try. Just videos all over the place of American citizens just raging about the insanity that is the. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. It's all garbage, man. It's all garbage. At the end of the day, you know what your grocery bill looks like. You know what it looks like. You know what you're having to pay at the pump when you go to fill up your car. Joe Biden can sit there all day and say that, oh, the economy's great. We've created all these. Joe Biden has not created a single job since 2020. Joe Biden, not a single job. He keeps saying that he has, but he hasn't created a single job. Not a single one. We are still recovering. We are still trying to recover all of the jobs that we lost during the pandemic. We're talking about thousands of businesses destroyed, tens of thousands of businesses destroyed. Then you've got the fact that companies are having a hard time, hiring people because nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to, take on the pay that these companies are paying. The reason they don't want to take the pay is because inflation is so high. They have so much more that they have to pay for now. What? You want to pay me $15 an hour? That's not enough to pay my bills. That's not enough to pay for my groceries. That's not enough to pay for my gas. Have you seen prices lately? I need at least $25 an hour. That's exactly what these people are saying. Not a single job has been created under Joe Biden. Not a single one. We're still trying to recover from 2020. Oh, and before you guys blame Donald Trump for that, Donald Trump is the one that said he has no authority to shut down the economy. So that was your governors in your states that shut down the states, which shut down the economy nationwide. which was a lot of Republicans who did that too. So they're all equally garbage. Now, I would say that the Republican states' economies have recovered much better than the Democrat states have. You look at California and New York and up on the West Coast, Oregon and Washington. These economies are garbage now, especially after 2020. And then you compare that to a state like Texas, who has basically been the jewel of the United States since 2020. You look at Florida, massive economic growth in Florida. These are red states compared to blue states. Guys, it's obvious. It is obvious that the economy is not good in America as a whole. In the United States as a whole, the economy sucks. The average American feels it. Joe Biden doesn't feel it. You know, these rich politicians getting paid $100 something thousand a year, they don't feel it, you know. But the average blue collar worker, you dang right you feel it. You feel it at the grocery store. You feel it at the pump. You feel it, you know, whenever you got to pay for your insurance. Your car insurance has gone up. Your home insurance has gone up. The average American cannot afford to buy a home. Rent has gone up insanely. I remember paying $1,400 a month for a one-bedroom. In Texas. That might sound low to some of you. Like if you live in California or New York, that sounds low to you. In Texas, rent prices were never that high. They were never that high for a one-bedroom. Guys, it's not working. When it comes to the things that are affecting Americans the most, the southern border and the economy, he's lying. He cannot help. Joe Biden cannot help but lie in his State of the Union speech about Republicans are the reason why the border is not closed. It's a lie. It's a lie. Under the bill, first of all, Joe Biden did not need a bill in order to shut the border down. He didn't need a bill. Okay? That authority was given to him in the Constitution. Okay? The federal government has the authority to defend our southern border and our all of our borders. Okay? That was ingrained in the Constitution. He did not need a border bill, a border security bill, which it wasn't, in order to secure the border. He did not need that. He could have shut down the border. He could have secured the border. He could have been deporting illegal immigrants throughout his entire presidency at any time. At any time of his choosing, he could have done this. And he didn't do it. Yet he has the audacity to blame Republicans. Then, of course, the economy, I just explained it. You all feel it. You all know what you deal with. You all have seen your prices going up. I think we all know what we need to do, man. I think we all know what we need to do. Guys, you got to go vote. We just passed Super Tuesday. You got to go vote in the November elections. You got to pay attention. You got to pay close attention to the candidates that are on the ballot, especially in your local elections. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like one of the biggest things that could really help the United States is a convention of states. For those of you who don't know what a convention of states is, a convention of states is when you have I believe it's a 2/3 majority of states. For example, if the Republican Party were to get a 2/3 majority in the legislatures of all the states, then all these legislatures could come together and call a convention of states. It says this in the Constitution. They can call a convention of states, and then they can put forward amendments to the Constitution, and then they would have to vote on them and things like that. And it's a whole process. But this is a way to get things like fiscal limits on the federal government. It's a way to get term limits on all these elected officials in our government. It's a way. There's a lot of things that can be fixed through a convention of states, and there's a whole bunch of lies out there about a runaway convention of state. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie that was put out there to try to keep the states from doing this, because the federal government wants to hold on to the power that they have, the power that they have held on to basically since the Civil War. Since the Civil War, the federal government has controlled everything. Now, the states still have some power here and there. The state of Texas has recently been exercising some of that power to my joy and happiness that they're finally doing this. But guys, you got to go vote, man. You got to go vote. You got to pay attention to your local elections. And ultimately, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Donald Trump's going to solve all our problems. I don't. I mean, just look at our country, okay? Look at the state of our country. Look at our economy. Look at our southern border. Look at the wars that Joe Biden has gotten us involved in Ukraine and Israel. Look at all this stuff. Look at all the problems, okay? Donald Trump's not going to be able to fix every single problem, okay? He's not. But guys, it can be a heck of a lot better than it is right now. Gen Z, do you ever want to be able to buy a house? You should probably vote for Donald Trump. Hey, average American citizen, blue collar worker, low income worker, do you want to be able to afford groceries and gas again? You should probably vote for Donald Trump. Like it, you can talk about the social issues all you want. Oh, Trump's a fascist. No, he's not. He's not. Joe Biden was obsessed in his State of the Union speech about, oh, he gave tax cuts to these major corporations. Yeah. And what did we see? We saw wages go up by $5,000 under his presidency. Now, compare that to Barack Obama's presidency, where in 8 years, it only went up by $1,000. The average wage in America only went up by $1,000 under 8 years of Barack Obama, whereas 4 years under Donald Trump, it went up by $5,000. Oh, turns out when you don't tax people into dust, they tend to be pretty giving with their money. Who knew? Who knew that if you don't tax people into oblivion, that they'll actually start being pretty generous and start raising their employees' wages and things like that. Who knew? Who knew? Oh, we all knew. We all knew. We all did. I don't know, man. I don't know where we go from here. I know what we need to do. I think you all know what we need to do. We got to vote Donald Trump. We got to vote for these candidates that want to get us out of these foreign wars, want to lower taxes, want to secure the border, want to put American citizens first, want to make us energy independent so that we don't have to rely on tyrants like in Saudi Arabia and Venezuela and Russia to get our oil and our energy. Guys, a lot of the problems can be fixed. You just got to vote the right way. And that sounds crazy, but that's what it is. You got to vote a certain way if you want to live a certain way. I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another video coming for you guys on Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section, and share the show with your friends. Follow me on all the socials down in the description and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we put out new videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.